Hi, it's almost Christmas. I wanted to do a podcast about ghost stories at Christmas time and the origin of why that was so popular, especially in Europe way back in the day, and how it started with the Vikings and how it blew up during the Victorian era. It's very interesting history if you want to look it up. There were Yuletide monsters in medieval days. There's a whole lot of interesting information about it online. But I didn't have time to do the bonus podcast because, as I shared in a previous video, I had stuff going on with my family. My mother needed, I needed to put my priorities there. And now that there's some support going on and that's easing a little and not quite as crisisy as it was, I just want to do a quick video talking about what my thoughts are after doing all the research on the ghost story thing around Christmas time. And this is before Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was so famous when he wrote A Christmas Carol that's probably, they think, they meaning historians, why it became popular in America is because Charles Dickens already was a well-known name. And that's why America adopted that story so much, because when Americans came over to America from Europe, they kind of left a lot of that old world superstition behind that may have been part of the intent of leaving Europe. So America doesn't tell ghost stories like the Europeans did. There were a lot of different reasons, but that's one of the main ones that historians think why America doesn't do that as much. But I have another theory. I think because they told ghost stories because, look, they believe the veil being thin. I talked about that in previous podcasts about the importance of the thinning veil and all of that. And I wanted to talk more about that, obviously, but I haven't had time. So they would light candles, and they didn't have electricity or other forms of entertainment. So what better in the dark than sit around and tell spooky ghost stories, right? Especially if they feel like the veil's thinner between worlds and realms. So they may be getting more spiritual stuff happening, monsters and things like that. There were monsters of Yuletide they would tell stories about. And it's really fun to look into. I love that kind of stuff. But it was almost like they would tell scary stories also as a way of growing. Storytelling has a way of helping us learn from other people and from other experiences. And that was one of the main reasons why storytelling was so important back then. It's sad that we've gotten away from that a little bit. But, something scary. And I'm taking a real leap here. And this is my my limerence prone brain, which I will get into more when we get closer to Valentine's Day. I'll talk more about limerence and love. My love addict history has a lot to say. There's a pretty doves out here. I was just watching them. But anyway, I was thinking about how Americans really focused hardcore on rom-coms, like love stories and stuff. And what's weird is now we're less afraid of ghosts and monsters, and we're more afraid of being alone during a holiday, right? I know that's a bit of a leap, but I was thinking about that because I put on some Christmas rom-coms because I've been watching this woman and reading this woman's reviews from the UK. Her name is Fran something, but she gives the most brilliant reviews of Christmas movies that you will ever find. And if I can find a link, I'll post a link to find her reviews in my comment section, because she's a riot. I love it. I've been watching them just because her reviews, even if she hates something, I'm like, well, I want to see it now. I want to see how bad it is. She's been fun. But I watched them because, my mood's a little lighter with knowing things are this is a peaceful week astrologically too. January is going to be all about building, creating, being creative, and getting ready, because February is probably going to be a chaotic month again, astrologically, energetically speaking. So I'm taking a breath this week that allows us to take a breath. And I was watching Romcoms and I was thinking about how, ghost stories were the scary things that we found entertaining back in the day when it was dark. And now that we have electricity, now we're more afraid of being alone. Now we're more afraid of not having somebody to take home with us if we go home for a holiday. And what does that say about us? If we aren't able to land another human being, there must be something defective in us. So, I don't know. It's just, that's where my brain went. And I just found it interesting, so I wanted to share it. But I hope that you have a safe and happy holiday season. And hopefully after the first of the year, I'll be posting my podcast every other week, I think. To every week has been too intense for me. But I would like to at least do every other week. And I'll start probably mid-January, early February, hopefully. So I hope you have a good and safe holiday weekend. And if you're listening to this, thank you so much. I actually got an award from Spotify. I'm in the top, my podcast, even though it's new, is in the top 75% most shared podcasts. I think that's how it was worded. I got that news the same day I found out my mom was taken to the hospital. So it was not really high up on my list of like, yay, boo. But that was pretty exciting, so thank you so much. If you're sharing my podcast, I really appreciate it. And I really like getting ideas. What do you want to hear more of? What do you prefer? What do you not like? I have a lot of room to grow. I know I need to fine tune this and refine it a little bit. I'm new to it. So I don't mind constructive feedback. And I may or may not listen to you, but I'm an Aries and I'll still do what I want. But I hope you have a good holiday season, regardless of what you celebrate. Just enjoy quiet time at the very least, because, life's about to happen again. So thank you and have a good holiday.